What's going on, YouTube? What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? I just want to do a quick post today talking about tonight. It's nighttime right now. I'm actually just trying to catch up on some work right now. That's the name of the game, the job that I'm currently in. But I just want to talk about the process for me passing my CDL permit test on the first time. Now, so I'm just gonna talk about it, man. I've watched some videos of dudes like, man, I went in the DMV and I just studied right before the test and passed it just like that. You know, I mean, that might be you, but everybody's different. I come in the game with some knowledge of trucks and trailers and, heavy vehicles, how they move. I used to volunteer with the fire department. I used to work specifically a tracking job, like the athletic tracks. I used to work striping them and building them jobs. So they use Kubotas with trailers and dually trucks, and that's not as big as a semi, but it's similar. When you hauling when you got a big vehicle that's got heavy equipment, it's gonna be different on the highway. So you gotta take those things into account, and then you might have somebody that's coming into this game with no experience at all. So, but pretty much for me, what I did was, I didn't know that I wanted to actually get my CDL until maybe a few months ago. I was considering it for a while. So if you're considering getting your CDL, I would advise you to go ahead and download the app. Go ahead and download the CDL permit app, and you can get that joint. And I think the person who makes it, his name was Diaz or something like that. And the questions that's on that app is majority of them questions is exactly like that, the DMV test, or with your shipper or your, wherever you go to school, at your CDL school. So I studied that joint before I even was signed up for this class. So I just, studied it to see where I'm at, and then I knew what I needed to really focus on. So for me, my focus was the air brakes and different things about how the vehicle moves and weather conditions, simple stuff like when the vehicle is empty, it takes longer for it to stop, and how to respond to accidents on the highway, how do you brake and how do you maneuver that vehicle. Those are the things that I really focused on. Learning the air brakes, learning the combination, all of that stuff, and really learning it. I don't want to go into something and just say, oh, I'm gonna just study right before and think I'm gonna go in there and pass. To me, that's not effective. That's not really learning your craft. Cause you gonna forget that joint afterwards. So I went into it I'm gonna study this stuff and I'm gonna actually learn it. So the questions that I got wrong, I would look at the why part. There's a part that says why, and you can it'll explain to you the whatever it is. It'll explain to you, the answer to the question that you got wrong. Even questions that I got right, if it was something that I didn't know, like the pressure gauge valve, or what is that? I want to look that up. The S cam, like let me look that up. I want to see it. I want to know what it looked like. I want to really truly understand like how the mechanics work. So I think that's a good way to pass your test. Don't look at other people. If you got other people that's in the industry already and they good people, like they work for companies or they work for themselves, like you can talk to them as well. But I wouldn't advise just going into that joint studying like the day of or the week before and just thinking you're going, because to me that's a waste of my time. Like what if I fail it? Then I'm gonna have to come back and do this stuff all over. Like I don't got time for that. Let me really truly learn my craft. If I'm gonna be driving this heavy vehicle on the road, let me know what the heck I'm doing. I want to be knowledgeable about this thing, and I think that's the difference for me. When I took the test, I finished so fast that the instructor was kind of looking at me like, wow, like, because there was other people in there. I mean, I finished the test, signed the stuff for DMV, went and got a money order, came back, and they were still in there taking the test. And it's kind of like, if that's for my permit, 50 questions for the general knowledge, 25 questions for the air brakes, and 25 questions for the combination. That's 100 questions, bro. Like, it took me like maybe 20 minutes to finish that joint. Maybe 20, 30 minutes at the most to finish that joint. And I mean, 15, 20 minutes, you should be, if you really know what you're doing, So yeah, man. Like I said, take it seriously. If you know it's something that you really want to do, start early, man, so that you're not at the last minute scrambling, trying to study for something that's really not that hard. It's really not that hard, but if you don't study or you don't come in with prior knowledge, like it's not gonna be easy, And it's basic. A lot of the questions are common sense questions, And it's like, like once you answer, and if you get them wrong, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So what I would do as I'm reading the question, I kind of read it out loud to myself and think, like, put myself in the scenario, because a lot of the questions are scenario type questions, like, and it just makes sense. You know what I mean? So yeah, I ain't trying to talk nobody's head off. I just wanted to drop that video. Yeah, we going from there.